Welcome back to JB Reviews. I have a 2023 GMC Yukon XL. It has the AT4 trim package, which is basically the off-road. And there's two things that I'm shocked that GM did not offer for this SUV. Special shout out to Jerry Seiner, Buick GMC here in South Jordan, Utah. If you are in the market, this one is sold, but you can order one just like this. I'm going to show you the window sticker up next. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. This is going to be the window sticker for the Yukon XL we're going to be reviewing today. The colors and then the powertrain. And then be sure to pause for some of the standard equipment that you see here. Base price is going to be $73,705, and then here are all the options that were selected with this setup here. So sunroof is going to be an option, and then this one does have the air suspension, which I definitely recommend. And max trailer and package is right there, and here's everything that's included. Destination came in at $1,895 with a total price of $84,535, and then here's the fuel economy numbers right here. Car and Driver had said that the Yukon AT4 was basically the butched Yukon, and I disagree with that. I personally like the appearance. It's very sporty, it's not overdone. You have like this black chrome up front, and I think it really does complete the front end. Not a lot of bright chrome trim pieces on here. Forward facing camera right there, and you have more of that black chrome down below with like a silver trim piece, which is plastic. Red tow hooks, and I think that the front end really does just hit well. Full LED headlights and fog lights. And off to the side, 20-inch wheel comes standard with the AT4, and they give you a really aggressive tire that's pretty quiet. I do like the Territory ATs. I've driven on these in the past. Really good tire. And here's the tire size: 275/60/20, 2,679 pounds of capacity at 51 psi. Now, as you guys saw earlier in the video, this one does have air suspension, so I'll show that to you guys in a second. Power deployable running board, and then here's that AT4 badge. And because this has 360 camera, you have cameras on the mirrors, front and rear. Painted door handles. Love that they give you the smart key system on the front and rear doors. If you have younger kids and you want to let them in first, or you have older parents, you don't have to go to the front doors or find the key fob to do that. No bright chrome. Machine wheels. That's the only thing that's really bright on here. And the emblems. And fuel's right there. And then notice like this darkness around the taillights. Love that appearance. And it kind of goes well with the sportiness of this SUV. Now they do hide the hitch, and there is a max trailering package. It's not that expensive, so be sure to check that out if you are looking to purchase one of these. No parking sensor on the side here, but power lift gate. And let's see, you do have this as well. Or you can just lift the entire thing too. I don't know if I mentioned the parking sensors up front, but you do have them out in the back. Love that trim piece down below too. And when you get the XL, you get best in class rear cargo space with the third row seat up. These seats are controlled back here too. Put them back up. I mean, this is an $84,000 SUV, so that should pretty much be there for sure, right? A little bit of storage below. Tie downs on both sides. And then, you know, surprising, they give you a 120 volt plug too. Now if you want to put the tailgate down, you just hit the button on the back here. It gives you about a second to move too. And then here's the other side. This is kind of in the shade. And let's talk about the first point that I mentioned, why I'm shocked that GM did not add this to the Yukon AT4. One thing I like about the Yukon is there's an available diesel. That engine has phenomenal horsepower and torque numbers, made it to the 10-speed transmission, and you could potentially get close to 30 mpg. The only problem is, if you want an AT4, you cannot get the Duramax diesel. I just tried to build one online and I was shocked when I saw that. Like,
seriously guys, no diesel. Most people who buy these, I get it, aren't really going off-road, but it's still nice to have that option. But the good news is these gas engines no longer have dynamic fuel management, active fuel management. At least it doesn't show that on the window sticker for the most part, and that makes these more reliable. So 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque comes out of this 5.3 liter. If it were me, I would get the 6.2. Although you do have to use premium with that engine, I do like the performance, and I feel like that engine is just slightly better built. And who doesn't like more horsepower and torque? Now, as far as the interior goes, you have sportiness and luxury kind of wrapped together. Perforated leather right there with some stitching, but soft touch pretty much everywhere on the door card. And it looks good too. Storage cubbies, bottle holder right there. And here's some of the controls. You can power fold the mirrors from inside. Here's some of your driving modes: air suspension, four-wheel drive, lighting for interior and exterior, trailer brake, and then electronic parking brakes right there. And then you have lane keep assist, parking sensors, auto stop start, traction control, downhill assist, 360 camera view, and then your heads-up display. Power steering columns right there. And then here's some of the controls: 10-way driver's seat. And then check out the design too. Love the accents they give you, some of that piping and stitching there too. And stepping in is really easy, obviously, because you have air suspension and you have power to pull up running boards. Did I mention it had both sound system? And then this is going to be for your cruise control, and this is going to control that 12.3-inch screen. This is going to be a 10.1, and you have heads-up display up top. Push button start is kind of hidden right there. You can see a little bit better. Now they always want you to buckle your seatbelt, and you can disable that if you like, but this is pretty customizable. Here's some of the information that they show you in this screen. Great information, very easy to read. The layout is clean, and you can add more things, but we're not gonna go through that in this video. But this is how you select the gear you want to be in. You also have gear limiter. Let's go ahead and turn down the climate a little bit. Dual climate controls down below, heated and ventilated seats, and you can control the rear climate, which you would expect. Some of your audio controls right there. And the interior is really nice. You have your wireless charger for your phone down below. You have one 12-volt, two USBs right there. And this center console is not my favorite. I'll be honest. I think about my wife, and I know that when she wants to go travel somewhere, there's no place for her to put that big old purse. And even like down below here, you have storage cubbies, but again, some SUVs give you storage below this, so I would like for them to do something like that in the future. But kind of jumping back up again, check out your dash, soft touch with that stitching right there, and more of that perforated leather. Like, this is a really nice interior. I give it to GM. They've done a great job for this model year for Yukon. Now this 10.1 is gonna have Google, so you can access to do a few things in the system here. You have audio, you have trailering if you decide you need to tow a trailer. I will show you guys the payload at the end of this video, as I always do too, by the way. And yeah, let's check out your cameras. Now you did see you had 360 camera view here, and obviously you can get to it through the screen. So I'm gonna push the button one more time. I like that they give it to you outside of the screen, and you have obviously the bird's eye right there and backup. Actually, I'm sorry, this is the forward, excuse me. This is back. You have these views here, and you can see on the side, you can see the tires if you do plan on going off-road. If you're hitching up to your trailer, they give you a bird's eye view for that. And if you don't want to see this, you want to have full screen, you can turn off bird's eye. Now, one thing you're gonna have to learn to find is your home screen. By the way, I like this like little leather trim piece here that you can rest your hand as you use the screen. I like that they did that. But one thing that you can do, if you don't have an Android phone, you can move this all the way to the back here, and you can set up your climate on the other screen if you'd like to. or your settings. I did move the settings over here because that's always something that's important. And that way, like, you can have this set up perfectly, that way you're not distracted while you're driving. Although you cannot set this up while you're driving. But let's go ahead and check out this side of the interior, and we'll move back to the rear. Up top, you have this big leather trim piece, perforated leather. You can see the dash a little bit better. And glove box, soft open. And look how low this plastic trim piece sits too, so it's not hard to get in and out of this. They do provide a grab handle on this side. More storage on the side there too of the console. And this is all finished with a leather wrap with stitching. Now, something that GM should consider for 2024 is separating this seat from the center one. You can pretty much see here on the passenger side here, this seat is its own seat. If you want to run something long, but you still need 2 people to sit in the second row, that's pretty much useless because this all goes down as one seat, as you guys can see there. But nonetheless, you still have a center armrest right here with a place for a phone. In the second row, you have outboard heated seats. You have 2 USB Type-Cs, 2 HDMIs for these screens out back on each seat, and you have 1 zone climate. Also, I didn't notice it till just now, there is a plug down below there, 120 volt. Now, something I've noticed, they don't put rear curtains in the second row. If you want to get back to the third row seat, you pull this handle here, you pull it twice, or you can pull this little guy. And it's actually surprisingly pretty easy. You have a grab handle to kind of help get you back here. I'm 6 foot, and I feel like I could actually fit comfortable back here. Actually, well, the seat kind of goes up, but again, even if the seat's all the way back, it would be tight. But you have good headroom for the most part back here. I would like for them to put these air vents on the side because you can kind of see the indentation on the roof. It does drop it down a little bit. But there's that panoramic sunroof. You can see a little bit better. Cup holders are in the rear, Type-C USB, and pretty much the same thing on both sides. And if you want to get that seat out your way, in case the person sitting here is a butt, you can push the button, drops the seat down for you, pull the handle, and you can get out. So here are the numbers on the door. Gross axle weight rating up front is going to be 3,800 pounds. The rear is going to be 4,300 pounds. And this has a 7,700 pound gross vehicle weight rating. And then here's some of the wheel and tire specs. And as far as your payload goes, you have 1,481 pounds of payload, 8,000 pound towing capacity. So this does tow a good bit. And it has a decent payload capacity, but depending on how you obviously travel with passengers and cargo, you may have to tow less. But I hope you guys liked the video. Special shout out again to Jerry Seiner, Buick GMC here in South Jordan, Utah. If you are in the market, be sure to check out the inventory. Let them know you saw the video. See you guys soon. I almost forgot. The second thing I'm shocked that the Yukon AT4 does not have is a locking rear axle. I know that a lot of people aren't taking these off-road, but having a rear locker is nice for the snow, things like that. If you're going off on a dirt road and you don't have to shift into full-wheel drive, I think that you should just make that an option at the very least. See you guys in the next video.